Hi, this is Meredith from SheSwingsOnAStar.com, and I'm here today at Boundless Yoga Studio in Stroudsburg, PA, and we're going to work on a little series of crocodile breathing followed by progressions of locust pose. Now, crocodile breathing is a great place to work on the breathing into the back of your body. So as we breathe, if you've done yoga before or you've done other breath work, other forms of breath work, you know that as you inhale, you want to create an expansion with the breath. And then as you exhale, everything comes back in. In crocodile, as you work on expanding through the back body, being able to expand all the way through the core is going to give you more stability in the core muscles and help protect the spine better as well. And that's also going to give you more force in your limbs, in your arms and legs, a little bit more power. So to begin with in crocodile, we're going to lay on our bellies. And you want to stack your hands so that it creates a little pillow for your forehead. Now, as you're here, make sure that you're keeping the back of the neck long and the chin somewhat tucked. So try not to crank into the back of the head like this. The lips are together, but the teeth are apart. The chest is wide. If you have a tendency to hike your shoulders up towards your ears, just very gently draw them back down on your back. And keep your lower ribs working down towards your hips to create a little bit more integration in your abdominal muscles. And the legs are relaxed here. We'll be inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And as you inhale, I want you to pay particular attention to creating an expansion through the low back, through the ribs on the back body, even the sacrum area, and also the sides of the waist. So expand as you inhale, and then as you exhale, try to have a controlled exhalation. So in other words, don't just let all of the air out at once. Just slowly releasing the air through the nose. If you notice that you're starting to lose air too quickly in certain places, try to slow down your breathing. You can even, if you like, exhale through the mouth, but keeping the tongue spread onto the roof of the mouth. And that would sound something like this. Inhale through the nose. You want the exhale to be as smooth as you can possibly make it. Again, really bringing your awareness to creating that expansion as you exhale, as you inhale, I'm sorry. Remember to keep back of the neck long, chin tucked. Keep those shoulder blades working down the back, just gently. You don't need to kind of ram them down, but just gently drawing them away. See if you can make your exhalation longer than your inhalation. This is also just a wonderful restorative type pose for relaxation, particularly when you emphasize the exhalation. But now let's go ahead and move on to our locust progressions. for the locust progressions, we're going to come up onto the forearms, keeping the elbows a little bit wider than shoulder width apart and a little bit in front of the shoulders. And I want you to actively place the hands down and draw them down, the elbows back towards your hips. For this one too, you want to keep those same cues as in Crocodile, where the back of the neck of your neck is long and the chin is tucked. So this is going to be a kind of a smaller locust than maybe you're used to. A lot of times when we do locust, or certainly when we do cobra poses, we're doing this big back bending pose. This is a smaller movement, and the reason is because we want to focus on those deeper, more intrinsic back muscles, the multifidus. And this is a great pose for working on lumbar, or in other words, low back stability. So it's wonderful if you do have issues with low back. We're going to place the toenails into the floor, pressing into the floor, again drawing the hands and the elbows back towards the hips, back of the neck long, chin tucked. We're going to inhale, and we're going to try to just do our movements on the inhalation. And we're going to start just by slightly lifting the right arm. So inhaling first, creating that expansion in the back body. Exhale, lift that arm. Slow, controlled exhalation. And you will most likely feel that very deep into the muscles that are right up against the spine, the deeper muscles, the multifidus. We're going to inhale again, and this time we're going to lift the left hand, or left arm. And bring that one back down. Now you might just want to stay there and work with that a few times, lifting first one arm, then the other arm. Again, being very careful to keep the back of the neck long. You could even be down a little bit lower here than I was just then. Or you could move on to the next stage, would be lifting one arm and the opposite foot. The other toes will stay down onto the mat. So let's inhale here. Lift right arm and left leg as you exhale. And then come back down. And do the other side. So inhaling first. And again, you might just stay with that progression for a while. In particular, if you have problems with low back, just stay with the one arm for a while. It's been shown that in people that do have disc herniations in the low back, that the multifidus is atrophied. So this is something you can work on strengthening to help increase your spinal stability and protect your low back. So the final progression here would be to lift both arms and feet. So again, we're going to inhale before we move, exhale as we're moving, and then come back down. Keeping back of the neck long, chin tucked, chest wide. Ribs are still working down towards the hips. So we're not getting that big upper back movement here, but you're coming into a small back bend. Let's go ahead, inhale first. And then you can choose to rest a few minutes in crocodile pose. Thanks a lot.